All right, welcome everybody. So, we're going to talk about how to safely use essential oils for pets. So, I'm so glad for those of you who are here live. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to be doing some giveaways of the Oily Pet. So, thank you for being here. And I'm going to go ahead and ask that everyone not show their video because it impacts the recording. I'm not sure why, but it just does it on my version of recording. So I'm just gonna ask that you stay tuned and we're gonna get started. And for everybody listening to the recording, thank you for joining in. So my name is Allie Phillips. And I am in Lansing, Michigan, where spring really has not sprung yet. So let's dive right in. So what I'm going to talk about in this particular class, and you are welcome in the live class to type questions in the chat, and I will do my best to answer them. But I am not going to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease with what I'm talking about. Okay, I talk about essential oils to keep our pets well. So please don't ask me a disease-related question because I'm not a veterinarian and I'm not at liberty to answer it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to share my knowledge and what I have done in my experience with the oils so that you can feel safe in using them. But the bottom line is you need to know why you're using an oil before you use it, not only with yourself, but with animals. And as I go throughout this presentation, I cannot repeat this enough. What I'm going to talk about really cannot be used with any other brand. So please do not take what I say, even when I talk about lavender oil or lemon oil, do not take what I say and transpose it to other brands. And as we go through this presentation, you're going to understand why. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you why brand is important. But let me tell you a little bit about me. So I have spent the last 25 years as an attorney, and my legal focus has been in criminal prosecution. So I spent time as a criminal prosecutor in the courtroom here in mid-Michigan. I spent about 12 years in Washington, D.C., working for the National District Attorneys Association, working for the American Humane Association. And while I was there, I became a nationally recognized speaker and educator when it comes to animal abuse and when it comes to how animal abuse connects to family violence. So when it connects to child abuse, domestic violence, and elder abuse. I've been a lobbyist. Man, was that a thankless career. But I was a lobbyist and a public policy strategist in Washington, D.C. on behalf of animals and children. And because of all of that background, I now run a nonprofit that I created called Sheltering Animals and Families Together. And I help domestic violence shelters create on-site pet kennels. I've got about 150 of these shelters across the globe. It's a worldwide initiative. And I have published a lot. I have probably been published well over 50 times in professional publications. These are two that I wrote on behalf of prosecutors in the criminal justice field. I actually have two websites. My legal work is contained on alliephillips.com. My healing work is contained on manifestedharmony.com. But I have created a lot of different publications that are used to stay in the criminal justice field. I even created a program on how to put therapy animals with children who have disclosed abuse to help them through the process. And I've written a couple of books that have been published in the traditional sense. You can find them on Amazon. One is called Defending the Defenseless, A Guide to Protecting and Advocating for Pets. And another one is a very sad book, but we all need to know about this, and it's called How Shelter Pets Are Brokered for Experimentation. And my latest book is The Oily Pet, Safe Essential Oil Methods for Cats and Dogs. And I'm going to be giving away a couple of these on this live webinar. I also have a healing business called Manifested Harmony. I am certified in 3 different modalities as a master teacher, in Reiki, in integrated energy therapy, and I'm an advanced crystal master. My lawyer brain giggles whenever I say that. It's like, ha. So I have an interesting left brain, right brain perspective on a lot of things. But today is actually the 8th anniversary of Manifested Harmony. And I have spent the last 6 years really diving into essential oils and researching them and researching different brands and how to use them, especially with pets, because everything that I do in all of my careers involves animals and helping them. Twice I was a speaker at Young Living's Animals and Oils Conference in Utah in 2017 and 2018, because I specialize in how to help shelter pets and rescues. And that's what I was talking about. And if anyone is in the Midwest area, oh gosh, when is it? June 22nd through the 24th is an amazing Young Living Animal Essential Oil Conference happening in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. So if anybody wants to know more about that, you can just message me through the Manifested Harmony Facebook page or send me an email, and I can tell you more about that, but I will be speaking there. And then these are my feline teachers. So 2 of them are in spirit. Lucy, her 1-year transition anniversary is actually tomorrow. And I have Rudy and Stella right now. They may pop in here at any moment. But these have been my feline teachers. I also have had a lot of shelter pet teachers over the years, and I'm going to show some of them. So I'm going to do a giveaway. All right, everybody find the little chat, and I want to know who has a pet over the age of 15. If you have a pet over the age of 15, type the pet's name and what sort of pet, dog, cat, bird, potbelly pig, whatever it is, type it in the chat. I saw we already have one. So anyway, go ahead and do that, and I will come back and look. Somebody's throwing a book. And I'm sorry, I can only send these in the United States, but if anybody is outside the United States, I will figure out shipping. It's just shipping is horrible, even to Canada, as shocking as that is. So, all right, so we got people posting. This is lovely. All right, so let's go on. You can still take a couple minutes and post if you have a pet over the age of 15. So while that's happening, I want to talk about the big elephant in the room. So there's a lot going around on social media that is causing confusion and panic when it comes to essential oils. I want to just state for the record that I would rather have people be cautious and not use the oils if they are going to do it wrong. Because at the end of the day, you don't need to use these, okay? So what I'm seeing and what I get tagged in, and I really appreciate when people tag me, I don't want to intrude on people's tragedy, but if I can help, I will. But I see stuff like essential oils made my dog sick, essential oils killed my cat, citrus oils, eucalyptus oils, lemon oil are harmful to pets. You know, as I was getting ready for this presentation today, you know, I started doing, I always do research, and I started doing more research, and I got to tell you, it's pretty shameful when I see professionals in the animal field posting generic, ill-informed information about essential oils on websites that are of national organizations. And I know a lot of people are just regurgitating the same information that they keep seeing from others, and this has got to stop. It really does. People need to get educated, and so all of you who are here are going to get educated. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not a veterinarian, but I work with veterinarians on this issue, and I'm a lawyer, so I dig deep because I don't ever want any pet to get sick or have any harmful reactions. So when we see these stories on social media, we don't know the backstory of these posts. We don't know if or how many health issues that particular pet already had. We don't know what food they were eating because a lot of pet food is toxic. We don't know if they had toxic pet toys. A lot of pet toys are toxic. If you have pet toys that say made in China, they're toxic and you need to throw them away. Sadly, it's true. We don't know if or how many toxins are actually present in the home. We don't know if there's candles or plug-ins or aerosols or sprays or cleaners being used. We don't know what essential oils were used. We don't know the brands. We don't know if they used too many. We don't know if they used them in an inappropriate way. So when you see stuff like this online, scroll past. Just scroll past. There's a lot that we don't need to see, and there's a lot that we don't need to get panicked about. But as essential oils become more popular, a lot of companies are hopping on the bandwagon, and they are not doing it properly. And so people see what we do with our safe essential oils and think that they can do that with the brand that they're using. And that is a big no. No, 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 no. All right, so let's talk about the sense of smell in pets. So aroma is the main communication between the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. Humans rely more on sight, but animals rely more on scent. So this is why their olfactory receptors are far greater than what we have as humans. So animals are actually happier in environments that support their instinctual programming, and this is why essential oils are great for animals, because of this relationship between the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. I mean, think about it. For those of you who have dogs, when you take your dog out for a walk, does your dog want to walk on the sidewalk? Or does your dog want to walk in the grass? Does your dog want to, pee on a piece of cement, or does your dog go for a tree? Pets resonate with the plant kingdom. So when we're dealing with the sense of smell, a little goes a long way. And most of the time, I don't even need to open a bottle of essential oil for a pet to already be smelling it. That is how strong their sense of smell is. And so I want to address this big elephant right at the beginning about cats and essential oils. So cats are deficient in what is called the cytochrome P450 liver metabolism pathway. Okay, so what the heck does that mean? What that does is that helps the liver to metabolize and excrete compounds, medications, toxins, essential oils. Basically, it is the filter. We all have it, but cats are unique because of this deficiency that they have. So what it means is that they eliminate even medication slower than dogs will and slower than humans will. And so when I start talking about specific oils, this is why I'm saying that I can only ethically and morally and responsibly recommend one brand. And I will explain why I came to that conclusion, because I spent 15 years using all sorts of brands. Thank goodness I never used them around my cats or with my cats. But I had all sorts of brands around. And when I really started researching, I realized why they don't recommend their oils to be used with pets. And so when I talk about the oils, they can be used with cats and with pets because of how they are grown and how they are harvested and distilled. So here's the thing with cats. If you are nervous, take your cat to a veterinarian and just get some basic blood work done, because what they're going to do is they're going to test liver values. So get a good baseline, and maybe you already have that. And then 6 months after you're diffusing oils or using oils around your pets, just get their liver values tested again. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, especially with the Young Living oils. You're going to be very pleasantly surprised. So just make sure that your cat gets regular vet visits and, do this testing if it makes you nervous. But with cats, just remember that if the scent is strong for you, it is really strong for them. So less is more. But even with that, with cats and with all pets, let's just be a little cautious about high phenol oils. Now, what is a phenol? So phenols are responsible for the fragrance of an oil. So high phenol oils are strong. They smell strong. So think about clove and cinnamon and thyme, mountain savory, wintergreen, those sort of oils. So you're going to find a lot online about not using any oils, but especially no high phenol oils with any pet, especially a cat. But they are looking at studies that if the studies actually told us what brand they tested, I think we would find that it was a brand that actually doesn't recommend that their oils be used with pets. And when we look at people talking about don't use a high phenol oil, they are not looking at essential oils where the whole plant is distilled and the whole oil has been extracted. This is why quality and process is so important. And this is what differentiates Young Living from every single other oil company. But I always err on the side of caution. And here's the thing. So you see the oils on your screen. Do we really need to use those with pets? Now, I will tell you that last bullet point, citrus oils, I diffuse citrus oils in my home every single day for 6 years. I just took my cats to the vet. All is well. All is well. So how come our citrus oils are safe, but other citrus oils are not? I'm going to get to that. But with these other oils, do you really need to use them? And honestly, the answer is no. Now, clove is in a favorite blend of mine called Thieves that we all diffuse during the winter time. It's totally safe. Cinnamon is in it too. But when you're using these oils, just, use less in the diffuser. Again, a little goes a long way. And if you're topically applying, you use a high rate of dilution. So you use like 90% carrier oil to 10% essential oil. So what does that mean? That's like 9 drops of carrier oil to 1 drop of the essential oil. That's what that means. And you just want to be cautious and look for signs that the oils are too strong. So squinting of the eyes, confusion, disorientation, vomiting, acting, wobbly and drunk. I've never seen that, to be honest. I have never seen that with any of the animals that I've worked with, but I always like to give people the cautions. Be on the lookout for that. And if you see that, then either stop diffusing or topically dilute with a carrier oil. Because what a carrier oil does is it acts like a time release. So it's going to slow the absorption. That's all a carrier oil does. It doesn't dilute the potency. It dilutes how it soaks into the body and how it's released. So just use your judgment. But I mean, other than diffusing citrus oils, I've never had a need to use these oils. I never have. Oh, something funny is happening here with the PowerPoint. There we go. So adulterated oils are the problem. When we see all of these horrible stories, and I feel so badly for these families that have pets that have gotten sick, who have pets that have died, I feel horrible. And then I see the comments from people where people are actually scolding them. You should use Young Living, and why did you use that brand? Friends, let's not do that. Let's not do that. We can't, it just gives a bad name to everybody, and it gives a bad name to the company. What we need to be is helpful, and we need to educate, which is why I educate on this all the time. I cannot think of how many times I have given this presentation, and I will keep giving it until the end of time, until people really understand. But here's the thing about the adulteration of oils. About 98% of the oils on the market have been adulterated. I don't know why. I really don't, other than they're trying to cut the oils and make them cheaper so that they'll sell better. I mean, why would they do that? Why would they? I mean, lavender is lavender. Frankincense is frankincense. Why would they do that? Well, it's being done. And what they're doing is they're adding things to it. And animals can have adverse effects to what is being added to the oils. And this is where the problem is. So it is never about, is lemon oil safe? Is tea tree safe? Is sage safe? Is eucalyptus safe? It is never, ever about that. It is whether the company is actually adulterating their oils. Even by adding a mineral oil, do you know the quality of that mineral oil and is it safe? There are some brands that will add a vegetable or a mineral oil and not disclose it. And to me, that is very concerning, because what if it was a nut oil? What if it was a coconut oil or an almond oil and you have a nut allergy and they didn't disclose it? That's problematic. To me, that screams lawsuit. So the adulteration is by adding these extra oils, by adding cheap oils, like cheap essential oils, adding synthetics, because there's a lot of essential oils that are made in laboratories, which is, I'm not sure how they do it, because we don't know all of the constituents of what makes up lavender or lemon. The technology is not there. So if we don't know all the parts and pieces, how can you create it in the laboratory? So it's synthetic. They add unnatural components. They even add natural oils to a certified organic oil, and that's totally fine. And these adulterated and synthetic fragrance oils is what is negatively impacting the animals. And it's negatively impacting them from really living healthily in this world, because their body and our body is a biological system, and biological systems are calibrated to recognize a vibration. The vibration is outside and inside of the body, and the body knows the difference between a substance that is biologically active, doesn't have all of this junk in it, and one that is not. And if you take an adulterated oil and a truly pure oil from Young Living, same scent, and you offer it to your pet, I do this all the time. They are never going to choose that adulterated oil. They're never going to choose it. And so all of these synthetic and adulterated scents are overwhelming their system. Plus, we don't know what else has gone on. We don't know if they're eating bad food, if they've been exposed to formaldehyde and all sorts of heavy metals from their pet toys. We don't know if they've been over-vaccinated. We don't know if they have a pre-existing condition. So when somebody jumps the gun and says, oh my gosh, I got a diffuser in these oils off of a internet site and I diffused them and my cat dropped dead. Yeah, there's a lot more to that story. But we shouldn't be using these synthetic adulterated oils around pets. We just shouldn't. That is a big, big no-no. And so we really need to get comfortable in looking at labels. I mean, I got to tell you, I never used to look at labels on anything. I was a habitual shopper and I always bought the same thing, even in the grocery stores. I don't do that anymore because our labeling laws are horrid, horrid. This is what I do in my fun time. I research federal labeling laws. It satisfies my lawyer brain. And so when we look at essential oils, there are all sorts of labels and all sorts of quality. And that goes with anything in life. I mean, just think about produce. You can have produce where you can taste the chemicals on them, or you can have organic. So when we look at the quality of essential oils, at the bottom of the barrel is low quality floral water, synthetics, and just oils that all they do is smell. These are the ones going into hair and skin products. So if you have that lavender lotion or that rose water, very low quality and probably synthetic. Going up the grades, we have perfume grade. And again, these are taken by the perfume industry. They are extended, they are cut with solvents. They are altered, and these go into the perfume industry. Going up the ladder, we have our natural and our food grade oils, which are meant to flavor a product. And some of these are labeled pure, some are labeled organic. And here's what I want you to know about those labels. Essential oils are considered cosmetics, according to the Food and Drug Administration here in the United States. The FDA does not require cosmetics to have approval before they go on the market. So that should freak you out right there, because there's all these cosmetics on the market that have heavy metals and formaldehyde in them, and that's okay, according to our laws. Now, if it's marketed as a drug, then it is going to be regulated, and that's why we don't talk about essential oils as a drug. Okay, so don't do that. And when it comes to natural or pure or organic, FDA doesn't have regulations for them. In fact, the organic label only applies to farm animals and produce. So organic chicken, organic tomatoes. Organic does not apply to essential oils, but yet you're going to see it all over a bunch of brands. So it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, and they can still have chemicals in them. And then when you get to the top of the ladder, there's therapeutic grade. And there's a lot of companies now saying that they have therapeutic grade oils. And what you really want to look for is pick an oil where you can eat the botanical. So you can eat the lemon, you can eat the orange, you can eat the peppermint. Look if their orange, their lemon, their peppermint oil can be ingested. Because that's going to tell you if it really, really is a true therapeutic grade, a pure, unadulterated oil. That's what's going to tell you that. And so I like to show this, and I blocked out the name of the company, but I actually have this, and I take this to my classes. This is an organic lemon oil. And if you look at the very bottom, you're going to see in the very bottom row, it says not for internal use. Since when can't you ingest organic lemon? Since when can't you just ingest lemon? They're telling you something else is going on. Something else is going on in the bottle. This is the sort of stuff to look for, but not all companies put these sort of labels on. So let's talk about how you can start out identifying pet-safe essential oils. So, does the bottle label and prohibit use with pets? And I see some that do. They say these are not to be used with pets or babies or pregnant women. Okay, trust that. Does the company actually promote their essential oils to be used with pets? This is where I go to the corporate websites, and that's going to be the next slide, because I always survey the top 10 essential oil companies, and I check. If the company, if the corporate entity, the corporate headquarters, is not talking about their products being used with pets, that is a huge red flag. They are giving you a huge signal. They don't have to come out and say, don't use our oils with pets, but the fact that they don't recommend it and they don't promote it is a huge sign. And the example that I like to give is when you think about products that older people use, like Metamucil and Geritol, do you ever see those products, and are they appropriate to use with newborn babies? No. Just go to their corporate websites. That's not the intended use. This is where a lot of people are not making the connection. What does the company say? This is huge. Again, this is why I say it's never about whether lemon is safe and cinnamon is safe and eucalyptus is safe. Does the company actually say their oils can be used with pets? That's if that's the one thing that you get out of this webinar, A+ for you, A+. But then you want to go further, and does the company actually oversee the process of the planting of their botanicals, the growing of their botanicals, the harvesting, Do they harvest at the right time? Because if you harvest prematurely, you're not going to get the whole oil. And I'm going to talk about why that's important. And then do they distill or do they let somebody else distill? Because when a company oversees this process, they can guarantee the purity and the safety. That's huge. That's huge. It would be like you asking somebody that you don't know across the world to grow what you believe to be an organic vegetable garden for you and then ship the final product to you. Do you really know that they're growing it organically? Do you? That's the thing. You got to do it yourself. Then you got to look at, is the essential oil therapeutic grade and just not a fragrance oil? The oils that I find in the health food stores, and now you can find them at gas stations. Oh, for the love of oils. Don't let friends buy gas station oils. Don't do it. But what I'm seeing in the stores are not therapeutic grade. They're fragrance oils. They should not be fragrance oils in a pet home. Then you got to look at, does the company actually work with veterinary and animal care experts? Do they have people that they can go to say, hey, we got this product. We want to promote it with animals. Are they bringing in the right people? Do they provide education on essential oils for animals? Can you find stuff on their website about that? And then when you look at all the pet essential oil books, even the ones that never mention a brand, like mine does not mention a brand, but when you read it, you know who I'm talking about. When you look at those books, it's pretty clear who they're talking about. But these are all the questions that we have to ask ourselves to identify whether essential oils are safe for pets. And so looking at the corporate websites, and I just did this again today, I do it about every 4 to 6 months. I don't show this to criticize any company. I really don't. Because I want all companies to succeed. There is more than enough room on this planet for all the essential oil companies. It's just do it right. Like don't screw it up. Lavender's lavender. Where it gets screwed up is where humans get involved. And I want to show this though, because only one company publicly educates on their website about using oils with animals and actually has an entire line of products specifically labeled for animals. And the others either have no mention of the word pet or animal, or they actually advise against using their products with animals. Now, I found with a couple of these companies that users or members are educating on using that brand with pets. But again, if the corporate entity and the corporate headquarters is not promoting the oils to be used with pets, it doesn't matter what the members say. Like for me, what I say doesn't go against Young Living. You go to their website and see what they say. And that's really where we've got to keep the focus, is what does the company say we can do? So I want to go through some do's and don'ts. And I did this today, and oh my gosh, it was horrible looking at this online. Don't Google essential oils and pets. Seriously, it's going to freak you out. Because you're going to see some big animal protection groups, animal protection groups have nothing to do with essential oils because they're not educated in it. But they're talking about not to use these. You're going to see pet poison helplines saying don't use essential oils. And again, I'd rather have people be cautious and not use them than to use them in an uneducated way. So don't believe everything on the internet, because people are publishing information and republishing and reposting and regurgitating other people's information that's limited, it's ill-informed, it's misleading. I found a pet poison, online helpline site that said no oils for cats. And it's like, well, wow, I'd rather have people be cautious, but it's like, you really should do a little more research before you publish something. And that's why I find that people are not diving deep into understanding the oils. And so they keep regurgitating the same stuff. I keep seeing the same stories fly around on Facebook and the same posters saying, don't use these oils with pets. And what I find interesting on those posters, I never find who created them. Everything that I create has my name on it. People can trace it right back to me. Those posters, there's no name on it. So if you see anything circulating on the internet or on social media and there's no attribution of where it came from, trash it. Because it's trash. It really is. Let me go back for a second. Don't use the oils if you're not comfortable. And I'm going to give you all different steps that you can use. So use this according to your comfort level. And as you get more comfortable, you can take more advanced steps. But like I said, I am only talking Young Living, so only use Young Living specific resources. You can go to Life Science Publishers and you can get the Animal Desk reference of essential oils. You can get the Oily Pet. You can get a lot of different books. There's a lot of veterinarians in Young Living who have written books. Look for them. Do your own research. Be conservative. I'm going to talk to you about how to start really small. You know, don't just all of a sudden dump a bottle of essential oil in a diffuser and lock your cat in a room. That's just not wise. Monitor the response because your pets are going to react differently to different oils. And then we never force oils on pets, ever. Let them choose, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so going back to the first giveaway, so let's see. So Sherry Duvall, you have an 18-year-old cat. I'm going to send you a copy of the Oily Pet. So I need you, if you can, my dear, to send me a Facebook message to the Manifested Harmony Facebook page. I'm going to write your name on this right now so I don't forget. And I have no working pens at my desk. Send me your address. And the next question is, post me a comment if you work for an animal shelter. Type the name of the shelter because I'm going to do another giveaway. All right, does anybody work for an animal shelter? If not an animal shelter, an animal rescue. All right, so I will watch those. I will let you put those in. So now, let's talk about the different methods on how to introduce oils to your cats. That is my Rudy there. Rudy is an oily cat. You're going to see a lot of pictures of him. He really gets oiled up. All right, so the first, I'm going to start with the least invasive and I'm going to go to the most aggressive, okay? So we're going in order. This one's easy. Clean with a plant-based essential oil cleaners. And I'm talking household cleaners, hand soaps, dish soap, you know, because all of this stuff leaves a residue. If you're using anything commercial in the grocery stores, it's leaving a residue. Even if the brand has a cute little duck on the front of it, it's toxic. Please don't use it. So we have the Thieves household cleaner, the Thieves hand soap. We've got an entire Thieves line of cleaner. They are all safe. Why I love Thieves is because of what this photo depicts. And I guarantee you he's doing it right now downstairs. Rudy sleeps face down in his blankie. His blankie is washed in Thieves laundry soap. There are no toxins, no chemicals, nothing is off-gassing from it. It is safe for him to breathe in. So this is really critical. So you can clean bedding and pet dishes and litter block boxes and floors and crates and cages, you know, your rugs, your furniture. If you work in a shelter, you can clean cages. If you're transporting animals, where you're putting them, you can clean. It's totally safe. This is an easy way to start with pets because a lot of pets are reacting to cleaners. And this is a really easy switch. Next, progressing up the ladder is to be a human diffuser. So you wear the oils on you. So I have that little locket that has the little cat on it. I love these lockets. They come from a company called diffusingmamas.com, and I always check them out at convention. They're amazing. But when you wear oils, your pets are going to enjoy the benefits. And, you know, if you're working with shelter pets, they're going to smell you coming. They really will. So unless you want to specifically apply an oil topically to your pets, which I'm going to cover in a little bit, I would avoid putting oils on your hands and then offering your hands to your pet, because you got smelly hands and you're sticking it in their face. So I like to wear oils in the diffuser necklace, and it can really help, especially if you have a pet that's a little nervous, a little edgy, maybe they hide a lot. If you work with scared animals or feral cats or anything like that, wear calming oils, because it's going to calm you and it's going to calm them. If you don't have a diffuser necklace, just put the oils on the back of your neck or over your heart. And then you are a human diffuser around them, and they're going to smell. Petaromatherapy. Petaromatherapy is amazing. So this is totally safe to do with Young Living oils. I don't hesitate in using oils. I get questions all the time about, Allie, is it okay to use thieves because it has cinnamon and clove? Those are high phenol oils. Yeah, I diffuse thieves all winter long. I live in Michigan. Trust me, we need it here. I diffuse citrus oils all the time, because the brand is safe, okay? But make sure that there's an open space for pets to go. I don't lock them down. Let your pet be able to go to a room where there are no oils if they've had enough. Really monitor them. Make sure it's a cool mist diffuser and that you're not heating the oil, because you'll destroy the therapeutic value. It's okay to diffuse as much as you want. Just start slow with 1 to 2 drops in the diffuser. Again, if it's strong to you, it's strong to them. If they're hanging out in the room with your diffuser, that's a good sign that they like it. If they are all going to the opposite end of the house, you're doing too much, or they're telling you they don't like that oil. That's how they tell you. Let them decide. But diffusing is really great in your home, in your car if you travel. Life Science Publishers has the best car diffuser I have tried, and I've tried about 7 of them. They have the best one. And just monitor your pets and see how they're doing. Next is direct inhalation. So that's me and Rudy, and that was a year ago, because at the time that and you're going to see a photo of her, but she almost made it to 20, my sweet Lucy. And while she was passing away over a 6-day period, Rudy suddenly got a bladder blockage, and he had bladder crystals and had to have emergency surgery. It was a very traumatic time for all of us. That is a photo of me and Rudy doing the feelings kit technique. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. But I like this photo because I'm letting Rudy decide what he wants to smell. And he came up and smelled from the bottle. Never take an essential oil bottle and stick it in their face. Don't jam it right in their face. I always start about 2 feet away. And I will open the bottle, and I'll just start waving it back and forth. Sometimes I just need to uncap it, and you can tell because their little noses will start moving back and forth. Their eyes may even squint a little bit, but as long as they don't move backwards, they're giving you consent. So if they're sitting still, or if they're leaning forward, like Rudy leaned forward, he stuck his nose right even on the top of it. He needed that oil. And that was the forgiveness oil, because we were just really heartbroken that we lost Lucy, and then Rudy had his trauma from his surgery. Another technique is where you take an open bottle of oil and you set it down about 18 to 24 inches from your pet. Just set it on the floor. See if they come to it. See if their nose starts wiggling. See if their eyes start squinting a little bit. If they don't back away, then they're telling you they like it. If they come forward, they're telling you that they like it. I like to test this initially. Like if your pets have never been exposed to the oils, I like to use Copaiba first, because Copaiba is the softest, gentlest smelling oil I've ever found. It virtually has no smell, but they can smell it. So that is just a good way to start. And they can just smell directly from the bottle, because when anything emotional or behavioral is going on, you want to smell the oils. When it's something physical, you want to topically apply or ingest. That's the rule of thumb. So with Rudy and I, we needed to smell these oils because we experienced trauma, multiple traumas, all within a 1-week period. And so I want to show you this video. This is of my sweet Jacob. He passed away 2 years ago. Had a nice long life, but I wish I would have had him longer. But I want to show you how you look for interest, okay? So here we go. All right, so that's geranium, which is very strong. It's a freebie this month. See how Jacob came right up to it? Look at his nose. His nose is going back and forth. See how he comes forward? He's consenting. And sometimes they just need to smell it once, and that's it. You don't need to keep doing it. All right, here's helichrysum, another strong smelling oil. Look at Jacob's nose and eyes. It's going to tell you what he thinks. See his eyes squinting, and he's not coming near it. Now I'm about a foot away. It's a little, the depth is a little deceptive in the video. I'm a good foot away from him. He is not going for it. He did not want helichrysum. And there's Melissa. Melissa is the oil that I use with highly sensitive pets and people. See him smell? Now, Melissa is very strong smelling. And he came forward, but then he's like, no, I don't like it. He really liked the geranium. He really liked the geranium. So that's how you do it. Does that make sense? So the next level is where you can put drops of oil on a surface. So you can put oils on a cage door or a crate. You can put it on a blanket. So there's my sweet Lucy. You can put it on, a cloth toy. You can, put it in an air vent in your car. Never on collars, please. Don't put it on collars, because they can't get away from it. And I see this all the time where people are recommending oils on collars. No, please, please, please. Not to be graphic, but oils on collars for a pet is like you wearing a porta potty around your neck. So does that help make the point? Yeah, you don't want that, and neither do they. It's too much. Sometimes they just need to sniff once, and that's all they need. But you can put oils on surfaces. So like when I transport animals from shelters, and when animals are being flown, you can put oils on a blanket or in their carrier, and they can smell it if they want, or they can not smell it. So it's a really good thing to do for them. Let's talk about topical. This is where we start getting a little more aggressive. So here is kind of my rule of thumb for dogs. If a dog is 25 pounds or less, I would dilute with a carrier oil. And so I would use about 5 drops of a carrier oil to 1 drop of an essential oil. For dogs that are over 25 pounds, you can use 1 drop straight. You can use it neat. For cats, I tend to do about 8 or 9 drops of carrier oil to 1 drop of essential oil. And that's because cats have that liver metabolism deficiency. And so they excrete it slower, which means the oil's got to go in slower. Now, I have used some oils straight on my cat's backs, very small amounts. What I do is I put a drop in my hand, I rub my hand together, so I've taken in most of the oil, and then I put it down their back. So topical application can be very beneficial, and I use topical for physical support, to really support the body physically. I don't topically apply for behavioral or emotional support because they need to smell it. They need to get it into the amygdala part of their brain. One thing that I like to do is take my empty oil bottles, of which I have about 300 of right now. Like, seriously, I'm not kidding. I'm so lazy in cleaning them out. I don't even know what to do with them. But when I need to create a blend, like kitty lavender lemon peppermint, or kitty frankincense and copaiba, or kitty release, or kitty diagnose, or kitty raindrop, I take my empty bottles and I clean them out, and I've already pre-diluted them so that I don't have to worry about messing around and creating a diluted blend to put on my cats. So you can make them ahead of time. And then where do you apply? So it's down the spine. That is the easiest thing, because just like on us, it doesn't matter where we topically put an oil, it's going to saturate every cell of our body. Same thing with pets. Just put it down their spine. If they lick it, that's okay. Even if they have hair or fur, the hair or the fur acts like a wick. And it's going to wick itself right into the bloodstream. I do not recommend putting oils on paws. I really don't. For a variety of reasons, but mainly a lot of pets just don't like it. Now, if your pet loves it, if your pet just loves kind of getting their paws massaged, then that's great. But one thing that's interesting about pets is that they detox out through their feet. So when you put an oil on, it's kind of hard to detox out when the oils are pushing in. So just pat it down the spine. It's super easy to do. But never in the ears, never near the eyes, never near the nose. Basically, I avoid the head. I avoid it because of their heightened sense of smell. Now, what if you have like something, here in the neck and the jaw area? I would just dilute it so that the scent is softer. I mean, the whole oil is going to go in. It's just going to soften the scent of it. All right, ingesting oils. Ooh, now we're getting aggressive. So here's the thing about ingesting oils. I do not recommend putting oils in a bowl of water that your pet drinks, for the reason that the oil is going to sit like a glob right on top, and it's going to deter them, and we never want to deter pets from drinking water. You just don't need to do that. You really don't even need to put oils in food. I put Ningxia Red in my cat's food. You start with a couple of drops. With Rudy, because of his bladder issues, of which he just had his yearly checkup 2 days ago, and he's all good. And I don't even have him on one of those special diets. And the vet was very surprised because I make sure he gets a lot of water in his food and he gets Ningxia Red in his food. So it's helping to keep his bladder healthy. But Rudy gets 3 dropperfuls in his food, but I would just start with a couple of drops and then run water over it. It's only going to work well in a wet food. It's not really going to work in a hard food unless you want to put water in the hard food. But you can also, in food, use oils like copaiba and diagnose and paragize. I mean, you can put some supplements in like Life 5, Essential Zyme, multigreens, agiles. You can put that in food and mix it in. So, what I'm saying about ingesting our pets ingesting oils is based on my experience and what I've used, and I haven't used everything in an ingestible way, but I can absolutely swear how my cats love Red in their food. So you could certainly give that a try. And again, less is more. And there's Stella licking oils off of my hand. She does this all the time. She does this all the time. And she was licking Peace and Calming off of my wrist. And Peace and Calming has citrus oils in it. So when people say, oh, cats can't have citrus oils, really? Because there's a lot of things that Stella doesn't like. Stella likes Peace and Calming. All right, so going back to only one person listed that they actually work for a animal shelter and a rescue. So Berta Peterson, can you go to the Manifested Harmony Facebook page, send me a message with your address, please? And I will get this out to you. And the next question is, who's not a Young Living member? I want to see if anybody on this call is not a Young Living member. Because if you're not a Young Living member, I'm going to give you a book. And if everybody here is a Young Living member, then I will come up with another question. So I will wait to see if anybody says that. All right, now let's get into specific oils. All right, how am I doing on time? Oh, good Lord. We're almost at an hour. All right, we're nearing the end. So these are the oils that I use time and time and time again. I use them for me. I use them for my pet clients. I use them in animal shelters. I use them with animal rescues. Never, ever, ever have I had a complaint. Ever, ever. I really want you guys to hear this because, again, Young Living was created 25 years ago on the foundation that our oils, if they are safe to use with people, then they better be safe to use with animals, because Gary Young was an animal guy. He loved his horses. He was a horse guy. That's what makes these different. So you want to keep your air fresh and healthy. Purification, Raven, and Thieves. So here's the thing. During winter or after a long winter, which we just had, don't hesitate to use these oils to keep your air fresh and healthy. While they contain some of the hot or the high phenol oils, they are safe to diffuse because of how they were distilled. I want to go into that a little bit more because I didn't cover that. When it comes to the distillation of oils, and really what makes the Young Living oils different is the thoroughness of the distillation process. I mean, not only do we just use water and steam, or we're cold pressing if it's a citrus. I mean, we're not using solvents, we're not using alcohols, we're not squeezing the oils out faster than they should come, but we diffuse the whole plant and the whole oil. We get every constituent, every part and piece out that we can. And when you do that, the oil balances itself. When an oil is diffused or distilled not for the when it's distilled not for the right amount of time, or it's distilled with solvents, it throws that balance off. And so there could be a high level of phenols, but you don't have, like, you know, the monoterpenes balancing it out. I'm not going to get too sciencey here, but what Young Living does and the process that we use ensures that balance, which is why these oils are what we call bioavailable and bioactive in the body. Because the oil balances itself. So even if an oil like cinnamon and clove has high phenols, all the other constituents balance it out so that it can be handled. I hope that makes sense. So I don't hesitate in using these oils. And it just provides fresh smelling, clean, healthy air for our pets. And when our animals breathe them, it provides a therapeutic support. When you have pets who are stressed, this is my trio. This is my trio for any person that comes to me and says my dog has anxiety or thunder phobia or reacts to 4th of July fireworks, or I'm going into shelters and the pets are really stressed out. I am going to find a solution in these 3. Every pet home should have these 3. So acceptance is a great oil to help in an animal urgency to accept what happened. So when Rudy had his emergency bladder surgery, I pulled out the acceptance. When Lucy was in the process of dying simultaneously, I pulled out the acceptance. You know, and just like how we can hold on to the past and not move forward, we can get in denial and get stuck. Some animals can too. But sometimes this can just happen when maybe we're moving to a new home, or somebody moves into our home, or somebody leaves our home. It could be a person or a pet. So after Lucy passed away, Rudy was lonely and I got Stella for him. I diffused acceptance constantly because I wanted him to accept that Lucy was gone, me too. I wanted him to accept that Stella was here. I mean, we were both heartbroken. And I wasn't ready to get another cat, but Rudy needed another cat. He had never been alone. And, you know, and he lost his brother Jacob a year before that, and that was very heartbreaking for him. So acceptance really helped Rudy to bond to Stella. And they're best friends. It's amazing. Peace and calming is very relaxing, really excellent for animals that are struggling with their emotions. So if there's an arrival of a new pet in the home, or maybe a baby is coming into the home, or you're traveling, you're maybe just going to the vet clinic. You know, I just took Rudy and Stella to the vet. I diffused peace and calming the whole way. This is the oil that I go to for pets that are very reactive to what's going on around them. So like the ringing of a doorbell, or other people in the home, or what's going on outside. They're like hyper vigilant and hypersensitive. That's what peace and calming is for. Now, Valor, on the other hand, again, very calming, very relaxing for pets, but this is an oil to help create confidence and strength. So this is for the pets who they just need confidence and courage. These are the pets who they're going to get you before you can get them. These are the dogs, like especially the little dogs, who know that they're little and they want to be big because they feel vulnerable. So they're going to get you before you can get them. That dog just needs confidence. Valor is the oil to use. So when people say to me, you know, my dog's really stressed out and acting kind of funny, I always ask them, do you think your dog needs confidence? Or do you think your dog is just highly reactive to the energy? Confidence is valor, highly reactive to energy is peace and calming. And then just accepting change is acceptance oil. Let me show you how peace and calming and valor can work. This is a shelter cat. Whoops. Where'd it go? There we go. His name is Mr. Business. It was a perfect name. He was not happy. He was beating up the other cats in the cat room. Okay? I'm using Valor. He didn't react to peace and calming. You want to smell? You've been very agitated. You've been very agitated. I'm about 2 feet away from him. That seems to be working better than the peace and calming. Uh-huh. You're okay. I'm just waving it. You can tell a difference. That only took about 2 minutes, and he calmed down. He just needed courage. He felt small among the other cats. He just needed some confidence. So when you want to have good relations in the home, again, acceptance helps to accept new pets, new people in the home. Harmony really balances the energy centers. It eases tension in the environment. It's kind of the oil to help pets get along. And lavender is really good because it's good for releasing anger. You know, if you get a new pet and you feel that one of your other pets is angry about it, lavender is really good for releasing anger. When you have pets who are sad, they're sad because you've lost a person, you've lost a pet, maybe a child has gone away to college, you've moved, you accidentally threw away their favorite toy. Maybe they came to you sad because they were in a bad situation. To me, frankincense is the life force energy oil. It is uplifting. For animals that are sad and grieving, it boosts their spirits. You want them to smell it. Because grief settles in the lungs, okay? So it's really good to smell. Joy is a great emotional support oil. Energetically, it can help with grief and loss and get beyond that. And then release. Oh, release is amazing. You know, animals have energy that needs to be released too. I mean, it's not just for us. Physically released as well as emotionally released. So it's very balancing to the mind and body. And, you know, I like to just topically apply this down their back as well as let them smell it. But it's really good for releasing emotions that are holding them back. For any pets that have been mistreated, TOA, Release, and Sarah are my go-to oils. You know, if they've been mistreated and if they've shut down or have behavior issues, diffusing these oils can really help them. And when you open your home to them, the trauma doesn't necessarily go away. So this is great for helping them. TOA supports emotional freedom and joy. I mean, it's even helpful going to the vet. You know, I know a lot of people who diffuse this in their car when going to the vet because going to the vet can be traumatic. Release, again, is releasing what happened to them. And Sarah was specifically designed to help soothe deep emotional wounds. It was actually created to help people and pets recover from the traumatic memory of sexual assault, ritual trauma, and other forms of abuse. It really is a beautiful blend of oils to help release all of these pretty traumatic emotions. And then the feelings kit. I cannot say enough good things about the feelings kit. If you want to take a screenshot of this, please do. This is my protocol. I know somewhere on my Facebook page I have this. If I can remember, I'll post it again. But this is the protocol on how to use it with people and pets. And you know, I use this with Rudy. We used it every day for 2 weeks, and it really helped us get over the shock and the suddenness of his surgery while simultaneously grieving the loss of Lucy. Very, very beneficial to use. And Jacob, I want to talk about, he passed away 2 years ago. When he came to me in June of 2012, he had already lost 3 homes. This is when I was living in Virginia. And the rescue that I was with took him in. We adopted him out. He came back a year later. We adopted him out. He came back a year later. He was originally a foreclosure pet out of West Virginia. He bonded to every person and every pet he ever knew. He loved everyone. But when he was returned for the last time, he looked like the photo on the left. He had a bladder infection. He wasn't using the litter box. He had ringworm. He had a staph infection all over his face. And I took him into foster care. And at that time, my cat Oscar was actually in the process of dying from a rare disease called acromegaly. I wish I would have known about the oils back then. Jacob loved Oscar, and Oscar passed 4 months later. So Jacob lost yet again. And so I adopted him, but he had a host of physical and emotional issues, and I supported him emotionally with release, trauma, life, and valor. And within a couple of months, he turned around, and you see the photo on the right. He was beautiful and gorgeous and so loving and so trusting. And I really recommend that trio of oils for animals that have suffered loss. All right, we're going to finish up here and talk about oils for digestion. Our vitality oils you can use for digestion. I mean, if you can pill your pet, go for it. But I just like to put a little bit on my pinky and rub the inside of their gum. So copaiba, digize, paragize are really good for that. You know, you can put it in their food, never in their water. You can try to include it in the treats. I mean, when people talk about how you can't use essential oils with cats, I just show them the bag of Young Living cat treats and that it has essential oils in it. And I'm like, do you want it? You want to guess again? I mean, that tells you something, doesn't it? Isn't that awesome? But then Ningxia Red. Ningxia Red. So here's the thing with Ningxia Red. Ningxia Red is full of citrus oils. And again, people are like, you can't give citrus oils to pets, especially to cats. So I know it's safe because Ningxia Red contains naturally occurring enzymes. And those enzymes help the liver metabolize the oils. Isn't that awesome? And I see the results when I take my cats to the vet and have their liver values tested. Even Lucy, up until her final days, she was at the vet 6 days before she passed. Her liver values were perfect. Her kidneys were just shot at the age of 20. But even her vet said her liver is perfect because she drank Ningxia Red every day. Let's talk about healthy skin and fur. Lavender is known for its skin and fur abilities. It's amazing. Topically apply for any fur and skin issues. Now, whenever people talk to me about their pets having fur and skin issues, I always go to food first. What kind of food are they eating? Because they could be reacting. But then you can just comfort the skin and fur with lavender. The animal scent shampoo and the animal scent ointment are amazing for the skin. If you look at your pet's pet shampoo, it probably has a lot of toxic ingredients in it. Switch over to animal scent shampoo. It's amazing. I've even used it on my hair. It's amazing. I test everything. And the animal scent ointment is truly amazing for everything skin related. It's fantastic. And oh, by the way, it has tea tree in it. So for all the people that say, oh, you can't use tea tree with pets, especially cats, that product has been around for about 20 years. It's one of the first creations that Gary Young made. If that product was killing animals and harming them, do you think it would still be on the market? Do you think Young Living would be still selling it? Do you think Young Living would even still be open? No. So that I show people that. I'm like, there's tea tree in it. And it's labeled for animals. So that tells you about the purity of our oils, and the company stands behind them. And then let's talk about oils for seniors. I have a place in my heart for senior pets. Copaiba and frankincense, topically applied down the spine, is such a soothing wellness blend. Put it down your pet's spine. It just will it'll just help them and support them in so many ways. Ningxia Red just infuses them from the inside out. And Agili supports joints and reduces inflammation. So it's really good for big dogs that are starting to have hip issues. You know, they can take it in the pill form, or you can sprinkle it over food. And when people ask me how much to use, well, just look at the label and figure out what they're saying for an adult, and then transpose the pounds to your pet. So like for a cat, you're going to go through one capsule once a day, like one capsule in a week, sprinkled out over every day. So like once a day, you're going to do a little sprinkle. So one capsule is going to last you 7 days. basically. Same thing with small dogs. And there's my Lucy, who lived to almost 20. Her anniversary of passing 1 year ago is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a day of bittersweet because I was very lucky to have had her almost 20 years. So, all right, so I want to give away another book, but if you want to get some of the Oily Pet books, they're on my website, and I give a group bulk discount. So, last question, type in the comments, what was the one thing that you learned that you now feel comfortable doing? And I will give away another book. So go ahead and type that in the comments. All right, I love that we let the cat choose the oil, use calming oils for my dogs, letting my cat smell the oils. I tried it and it worked. I'm just reading the comments here. Telling people who have cats how to safely use oils. Yes, ding, ding, ding. Renee Nye, I am sending you a book. We gotta tell, so go onto the Manifested Harmony Facebook page and send me your address. I hope you don't live overseas. I can't ship overseas right now. We gotta tell people who have cats about this. You all are gonna get a copy of the link to this video. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube page where I have over 100 different classes on there. And feel free to share it with anybody, okay? So you can follow me on the Manifested Harmony Facebook page. I also co-host a Facebook page called Oil Harmony and Animal Care. Now, we don't talk about oils for animals. We talk about how to use oils to support you if you work with animals or volunteer with animals or have a pet that's sick that you're caretaking. That's called Oil Harmony and Animal Care. My YouTube page is packed with classes. That's called Manifested Harmony. My Instagram page is Allie Phillips Pet Oils. And I'm doing a self-care series all year. And the second Wednesday of the month, I do my self-care webinar, so that's coming up next Wednesday. So you can go to my website, manifestedharmony.com, and find that. All right, so thank you for all the comments. Are there any questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and then see if there's any questions. So for those watching the recording, thanks for joining in.